Hi, Tyler. Sorry there's been a few week hiatus, but we're going to have a special episode of Coffee with Podge, but we're going to call it Cocktails with Podge. So pick up your drink and have a sip. So the topic for today is going to be about why does it make sense to send an 18-year-old kid away to college? And the answer is it's not really about academics or what you're going to major in or the career you're going to go into. Yeah, sure, that plays a role, and yeah, you should have a major, and yeah, you should do well in school, and yeah, you should think about what your career progression might be. But the reason why you go to college is for you to learn how to have balance. So, for the first time in your life, you're completely on your own, and you have to figure everything out on your own, for yourself. Yeah, you're not really paying the bills. We know that you don't check your checking account that much and see how much you have left in before you buy something, but you're for the first time having to balance, whether or not you work out, whether or not your diet is good, how much time you spend going out with your friends and your sorority sisters and dating and going to class and all that stuff. For the first time, you have to do all of that on your own, and if you do it badly or you do it well, there's really no one there to check your work and make sure that you're doing it right. And, I haven't said much about it because, me, I try to be the kind of parent that's not all over you about this or the other thing. I'm not expecting perfection. And quite frankly, while I know you've had some struggles in the first couple of months of school, which quite frankly, I think that's how it should be, the goal is for you to figure out for yourself, and of course happy to help, how to strike the right balance. And the only way you're going to do that is to make the mistakes and not have the right balance. And great news, I think you've succeeded well on the not having balance side. It's really easy to prioritize the wrong things, but the only way to learn is to make those mistakes. So my advice is don't beat yourself up about it. Just make different choices. So, look, you know that I didn't drink or anything like that in college, and quite frankly, I was way too focused on wrestling and that kind of stuff. I wasn't focused enough on my academics. Same thing for me. It took me a good, year and a half to really kind of figure out the right balance between my academics and wrestling and working out and dating and having a social life and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't have the challenge of drinking and all the stuff that comes along with that because I didn't drink back then. So my advice for you is to really take an inventory of your situation and how you're feeling about it. What are the things you wish if you could rewind, hit rewind and do things over? What would you do differently? Would you get more sleep? Would you drink less? Would you be working out more? Would your diet be better? Because your ability to sustain, happiness throughout your life, it's all about being able to balance those things. And so it's having the willingness to be intellectually and emotionally honest with yourself about how you're feeling about where you are. I know when I got your text the other day and you said you were feeling like you were sort of on the right path for happiness and that you were happy for the first time now that you're at school. My guess is you're going to go through a few more gyrations where stuff's going to happen that's going to make you sad or unhappy about things, and then you'll find path to happiness, and you're going to go back and forth on stuff like that. It's a process. And I guess what I'm saying is embrace the fact that it's a process, not so much a destination. You want November to be better than October and December to be better than November, but it's not about perfection, it's about enjoying the journey. Now, there are a few things that I think are particularly important to think about. And again, I'm trying not to come across like I'm being preachy or anything like that, but the thinking through about how much of your mental and emotional and intellectual bandwidth is being spent on the social aspect of your life, particularly around drinking and partying and stuff like that, that's something you really have to think about. Because it's so easy to let that stuff get out of control. And if that stuff gets out of control, the wheels fall off on everything else. Because you're not sleeping, you wake up hungover, you skip class. When you are in class, you're checked out. So, really give some thought. And again, all I'm saying is maybe once, twice a month, maybe once a week, maybe every Sunday before you start the next week, take an inventory of the last week. What would you have done differently, and what are you trying to commit to yourself that you're going to do differently in the week going forward? If you can do that on a regular basis, not beat yourself up and self-flagellate about all the things you could have done and God damn it, I can't believe I let myself do that again. No. Just take an honest inventory about what's gone well and what hasn't that week, and make a commitment to yourself about what you're going to try to do in the week coming forward, and then rinse and repeat. If you can do that, you'll be on so much of a better path, because again, it's this discipline of checking in with yourself and being like, how am I doing? So why don't we raise our glass, and I hope you enjoyed with Cocktails with Podge. I love you, sweetie. Can't wait to see you this weekend.